Hello, everybody. This is Grace on a Journey, and you are listening to Grace on a Journey Channelings. Welcome to the newcomer, and to those of you returning, my fellow travelers, welcome back. So, today's episode is going to be titled Renew Your Energy. Renew your energy. And I'm feeling the reason why I'm being guided to speak on that is because there are those of you that are going through some changes. Some of you are being introduced to some ideas that you never thought about before. Beginning to consider some things that you never considered before. But as you process all of this, you have to take care of all of you. Remember, mind, body, and soul. And yes, meditation is encouraged at this time. But also, self-care is necessary as well. And we'll be speaking on that. Not forgetting exposing yourself to materials that offer, I don't want to use the word answers to your questions, but I prefer to use the word debatable arguments. And this is because we all have our own interpretation of things. And in fact, that's a good thing, because I can share my interpretation, you can share your interpretation, and so on. And all together, it could come out to be something great. I think community is something that would be so helpful if people were all in sincerity. You know, unfortunately, as I've shared before, we live in a balanced universe, right? So there are those for you and those against you. And we make peace with that. But at the same time, we practice wellness. At the same time, we know when to retreat. At the same time, we accept the guidance that's being given to us in order to better ourselves or better our lives. So today, I received a download, more than one, but I tend just to like to share with you the interpretation of the download. Because going into the details of everything is really not necessary. What's necessary is you get the message, right? So from the first download, The message I'm getting is this would be a very good time to take a spiritual bath. Now, yesterday, and when I say yesterday, I mean in the past, right? I would be the first one to tell you, okay, this is how you take your spiritual bath. You put salt, you put this, you put that, right? But I'm being guided, right? And the guidance I'm receiving is we're not spoon feeding anybody anymore. And this is because we have to maintain our wellness. And when we give out certain information, because we're trying to be helpful, because we want others to benefit from it, that information is being used against you. You have to understand, those of you that are leaders in whatever magnitude, sometimes it's best to share what is necessary. Because these same people who appear to be supporters because they listen to you or they watch you or even share positive words about you, you know, the hypocrites, they're waiting for you to share. Oh, this is what I include in my spiritual bath. I include this and that and this. And guess what? They go burn a candle. You know what I'm saying? This is how, the person that is of a higher vibration, this is not how your brain works. You thinking, this is good. We're community. We're sharing things. We're helping each other. Child, I used to love the concept of sisterhood. I would love it, people. I'm all about woman empowerment and all of this, right? But I've learned, people, too many times. You know what I'm saying? And I've tried. And this is not to say that I hate my sisters out there. This is saying that I prefer my one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be in no group. It's not for me anymore. It's not. Because I don't play follow the leader. You know what I'm saying? So I think for myself. I reason for myself. I see things for myself. And so due to just my personality, it could ruffle some feathers. Who does she think she is? Why does she have to be different? And you know what? I was born different. I've never conformed. Not in childhood. Not in adolescence. Young adult. And my present. And this is not only in relation to group settings or organizations or, this is also, I'm laughing because you don't understand what I've been through to get here. Because in my life, I've had a lot of controlling people, right? And the reason why there has always been friction is because, guess what? You see this brain? I got to use it. So regardless who you are, I'm going to have some questions, and it's going to have to make sense to me. It's also going to have to be fair, in alignment with my values and so forth. It's going to have to make sense. It's going to have to be rational. It's going to have to have some wisdom. Because although I like adventure, and at times I even like risk taking, I know my limit. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if I'm a gambler or not. And this is why balance is important. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to gamble everything I have. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. The type of person I am is I'm going to take the portion that I don't need. This is me. The portion that I don't need. Because my priorities, they got to be met. Period. You know what I'm saying? I'm about that responsible life. So, in being that way, many times people interpret it sometimes as being a troublemaker. Why can't you just do things? Everybody's doing it. What's wrong with you? What? And it's like, it just has to make sense to me. It's not to look for trouble. It's not to be bothersome or anything like that. But yes, I am the type of person that if you approach with some type of idea or proposal or whatever, I do not just jump on it. I say, let me think about it. And I pay attention and I follow my intuition. And if for some reason I'm hesitating, you're going to get a no. Respectfully, you're going to get a no. So I'll respond by saying, I appreciate the opportunity, that you offered. However, due to the fact that I find myself hesitating, I choose to follow my intuition. But I appreciate you so much and I wish you well. It's not what you say. It's not even what you do. It's how you say it and how you do it. And I feel that we need to try better in respect of the concept of community. People should be able to feel safe, like have safe places where people can teach and share things and it not being used against them. Either they're doing their witchcraft on whatever you said that assists you in whatever kind of way, or else they're taking things out of concept and making turmoil. And this is why you have to reach a certain level of maturity to be in certain positions, because in my interaction with you, I come with love. However, the heart of love I have, you could also stab me with swords in. You understand what I'm saying? You could also stab me in my heart. And so, as much as I want to give love, I want everybody to know all the resources. I want to share all the wisdom I have. See, prior to the dark night of the soul, this is what I was known for. Like, you can ask any coworker that I've ever worked with. She's the person that knows all the resources. How do they know that? Because I'm the one always sharing it. Whether it's things to do with, I'm trying to remember the word I'm trying to use right now. Like, for example, you could be at a job and then they offer trainings, not required trainings, but recommended trainings. I'm the one who's going to be like, did you hear about this training? You should go. It's free. It's not going to hurt you. Or, whatever's going on in the community, I would be sharing that as well. Or when you become a parent and you have friends that are parents too, then you share, opportunities for children and services in the community. And a lot of the times it benefits them. Maybe this is a topic of prayer. Maybe this is something we need to pray about. That God brings more harmony to the community. And I'm very serious. Less competition. More reasoning. And most importantly, awakening. But as I was sharing with you guys, you're being called to take a spiritual bath. Okay? Now, as far as how you take the spiritual bath, as far as what you put in the spiritual bath, I am not being guided to share. In fact, what I'm being guided to assist with is share where you might find the information, right? It might be on the internet. It might be at the library. It might be at the bookstore. And what you would want to be researching is simply spiritual baths. It's not complicated. The basics of it, you add a little salt. And to those of us that, enjoy aromatherapy, here I am going further than I said. You see what I'm saying? I'm giving in this way. Those of you that enjoy a little aromatherapy, they have salt available for baths, whether you call them spiritual baths or not. But, scented roses, lavender, eucalyptus, it's all out there. A lot of the times we are neglecting the most simple things in life that can add some luxury to it. Help us to chill out. Help us to stop being angry and upset and miserable. How do some of these people do it? I just don't understand. I'm really trying to understand why someone would want to remain miserable. And the reason why I'm saying that is because misery is a choice. Yes, it is. This is something I've shared numerous times in the support groups I conducted. Everything is a choice, right? Those of you that have depression and you wake up on, feeling grouchy and you don't feel right. Okay, there are days that you just don't feel right. And then there are days that you feel all right. But the days you don't feel right, you can decide. I even, teach children this. You can decide, I am not allowing anything to interfere with having a good day today. In fact, I am choosing to have a good day today. And with that intention, regardless if I wanted to have something healthy to eat that morning or something healthy to drink that morning, I'm going to make myself do it. You know what I'm saying? It's called discipline. You know yourself more than anyone else. And hopefully, those things that help you. Whether they help you to relax, or if it's a movie that you've watched that makes you laugh, or if it's a certain kind of music that energizes you, or it's from a certain era, so kind of has a way of bringing you back to your youth, experiencing those moments and, reminiscing on some happier times. There's so many choices. You know what I'm being led to say? What I'm about to say is also a choice. Okay? Some of you need a hug. All right? I'm encouraging you to hug someone you love. All right? And it doesn't have to be one of those fake hugs, loose hugs. You barely feel the hug. Nah, I'm not speaking about that. In fact, you can go as far as, I really need a hug. Can I give you a hug? Now it's gonna be a real hug. Like you probably should add that to it, because some people, when they give you a hug, it's like they are ready to give it to you and unlock, right? But if you feel you need a long hug, like some of y'all need a hug, people, I'm just feeling that. You know what I'm saying? It's real. It's okay. I'm really hoping you have at least one person. You know what I'm saying? And this is so sad to say, but if you have nobody, right? Maybe you might want to visit a church. Maybe they shake hands. Maybe you can experience touch. But you need some kind of contact of, how should I put this? You need to feel human again. And it's funny because that's what it's very similar to today's title, right? Which is renew your energy. Life happens. I've been through some hard knocks, people. If I were to tell you I guarantee you some people would not be able to hear my life story without shedding tears. I guarantee you. How do I know? I've had that experience twice. I don't even want to share about what I'm going to share about. You know, this is one of the things that is hard when you're a messenger, right? Because you receive messages, but sometimes you're asked to disclose about your personal affairs, or, you know, things that you've been through. And sometimes it's memories you don't want to go back to. And before I even get into that, when you've experienced so much in life, challenges, disappointments, betrayals, you know, some of us, what happened? We break down. Others, we fight back. You know what I'm saying? And I've been the one that fought back. I refuse. This is not to say I've never been depressed before. I've never had a hard time before. I've never, been abandoned before. I've never had someone. This is one of the reasons. And have you heard what doesn't break you make you stronger? This is one of the reasons I find it so mind-boggling that people can look at people in a certain age bracket and try to break them down as if they haven't had prior experiences. If you've had prior experiences and you got through, you already know what to do. So it's like certain games you don't run with certain age brackets because that's for kids. Because you already know sometimes life goes up, sometimes life goes down. What you gonna do about it? Are you just gonna give up? Or are you just going to lose yourself in addiction? Or are you just going to be miserable and want to make everybody miserable? Or are you going to say, I'm going to take control? I said it's a choice. Now, without getting into too much detail, I've been in a situation before where I was very depressed. And guess what? I had reason to be depressed. Okay? Nobody likes to be lied to. Nobody wants people playing games with them. And the fact is, a lot of people lie, But there are big lies, people. And there are little lies. Regardless, a lie is a lie. But this person in particular, let's just say We're forever connected. That I can't even say it any other way. We're forever connected. Regardless if I never speak to him for the rest of his life or he never, we're forever connected. But he did something that caused me to shut down. Yeah, it caused me to shut down. Shut everybody down. If you reach a stage in your life, right? And this is why some friends, I don't consider them as friends. I consider them as sisters. This woman in my life, we've been friends since I was 16 years old. We met in the English class in high school. For some reason, we continued to cross paths. I went to college. I saw her at my college. I went to university. I saw her at my university. And I can't even tell you where I saw her, somewhere in the neighborhood, somewhere, because, and we get in touch again. Childhood friends sometimes, it's something special there. They knew you then, This lady came to my house and she saw how broken I was. She got a comb and a brush. I didn't ask her to comb my hair. But she did that for me. She knew I needed that. This is one of the reasons I don't look at quantity in friendships. I look at quality. This is why when I had a child, that's my child's godmother. How dare I even consider someone else? Meanwhile, she's been there for me. There's certain things you could do in people's lives that put you in a place where they will always have your back, right? No matter what, they will always have your back. Because I remember she was there for me. She was there for my child. She was also there when I got a divorce. In fact, she said, I'm ashamed. That I come from the same background as him. But all this to say Me, who's encouraging you right now, right? Sharing about all this high vibrational stuff and all of that. What I'm trying to tell you, this is attainable for anybody. It requires change. It requires decision. It requires you believing in yourself. Let me tell you why I love me so much. I never let myself down. You know, other people may let you down, but I never let myself down. You feel me? So, there was a moment in my life I was so depressed, right? My family would cry for me. I'm so serious. I mean, tears running down their face. And to clarify, this has nothing to do with my divorce. All right? I had a life before that, and I had a life after that. Let me clarify. Because ain't nobody dying over a divorce. There are things more serious in life. So, I always say, God saved my life. By the way of my child. I understand that there are some people that share an experience of, oh, when I was growing up, my mother was depressed all the time. She was never there for me. She could never laugh with me. She could never play with me. No. See, that's not what we're doing over here. Regardless on how you feel, you're going to get yourself together. All right? Because we're going to break those generational curses. All right? You are not going to have your child have a depressed childhood like you had a depressed childhood. And so I could say, I'm proud of myself. Because regardless of how I was feeling, you best believe we're going to go to the park. We're going to go to community events. We're going to go to the museum. We're going to go to your doctor's appointments. I'm going to put you in the best schools. You will be receiving the ultimate care. You're not just going to be going to Sunday school. You're going to have to be going to Awana on Wednesday nights. To do some arts and craft in a biblical setting. I don't play about parenthood. This is something, you know what I'm saying? I get depressed, but guess what? I'm going to have to put depression down when it comes to who I'm raising. Okay? You know why? It's a choice. It's a choice. I remember, and I don't even know why I'm being led to share all of this, but God knows this may help somebody heal. That's why He's having me disclose this, but both of my grandmothers passed. But I went through some stuff, right? And I was on the phone with my maternal grandmother. Because she knew I was depressed. And she said, "You can't be depressed." You know why? Because if you're depressed, your baby is going to be depressed. I started to care for my child before I gave birth to him. And what I mean by that, I feel it's God that made my grandmother say that. Because as soon as she said that, she said, "It's a spiritual thing. I'm trying to tell you. If you're depressed right now, it's going to affect the baby and it's going to be in their system. No matter what the situation is, there's a saying, in Creole, right? Mete fom sou. And basically, you can't always translate one language to another language. And, that's just how it is sometimes. But it's almost like saying, be a man or be a woman. But obviously she said, be a woman. But it has more of it's more powerful than just saying be a woman. But like I said, you cannot just translate it. It's just something you can't. And this is where where I've learned to be strong. It doesn't matter what. When it comes to your child, you're going to have to grow up. Shoot, that's my great-grandchild. That's all. She's like, you're not going to mess up right here. So, when she said that, I looked for resources. Around the community. Because there are seasons in life when you don't want to be around anybody you know. I don't know if anybody's been through that. You want to be around people you don't know. Like you want to start over again. You know. That's what you want. So I started going to different churches and different cities. Like even if I live in this city, I don't have to go to the supermarket in this city. I could go an hour away if I want to. I just began to venture out, like reclaim my life. I knew I couldn't do it just by, sitting at home and looking at four walls, enjoying to not be bothered by anyone. And meanwhile, it's a choice. I got to tell you, it's a choice. Because I was loved. It's not that I wasn't loved. I was very much loved. I still am. The thing is, sometimes you have a certain plan for your life, especially when you've tried to do things a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And then you realize that something you planned is not going to go how you planned. Right? And I think that was one of the first things that I really had to accept. There's no way to have this uniform to what you planned. It's just going to have to go how it goes. Right? But it's not because I wasn't loved. It's not because the person didn't care for me. As I said, sometimes it's related to things were not planned this way. Right? But you have to accept it. And so I followed my grandmother's instructions, and I decided from that point on, regardless on if I'm feeling depressed or whatever, regardless, ma mette femme someone. And that's it. It's a choice. I'm going to have a smile on my face. I'm going to give him breakfast. I'm going to give him a hug. I'm going to make sure he has a, I treat him. I really treat him. Okay? I don't consider that favored. I don't consider that he is favored, but I don't consider that spoiled. I just feel that the more you put in your child, right, is going to assist with the result of the child. So this child been experiencing aromatherapy. I'm so for real since a baby. I'm the type of mother, right? I would go out with him and he's in his stroller and he feels a little agitated, and I put some lavender oil on my hand and I put it next to his nose. Like, I went all in. Like, this is one of the reasons why we're so close. It's like, I really do my best in that area. And that's why I don't play. That's why when people dare to play with me, you feel me? In areas in relation to my child, about your input, like, I wish you would. There's certain lines you don't cross. This one thing I don't do, right? You don't talk about people's children. You don't talk about, parents. You try to, especially where I'm from, you don't talk about people's mamas. It could cause you some pain. Let's just say that. Okay? Especially where I'm from. All right? So there are limitations. If you have something wrong with somebody, you deal with the person. Like, you don't go and do spell work on someone's child. You don't do that. You don't do that if you want to live. You just don't do it. You feel me? But some people like to learn the hard way. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I can't say it's okay for everybody because the coverage I have, I know everybody don't have. You feel me? But like for me, like, you heard a back to sender. Basically. Because when you play and do things, you have to understand there are two parents, right? Right? And two parents who don't play. You feel me? I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not even going to get into that. Child, I'm not going to get into that. You just don't know. Respect yourself. So, the confession here. Is God told me to say something else, right? But I'm trying to go all around. And I'm just not saying what he told me to say. But I just got to say it. I got to say it, right? I reached a point in my life where I knew I needed help. And I found a program that was willing to come to my house. Like, I didn't even have to leave the house. They would come to my house. And spend time with me. Counsel me. And what I loved about that program too, yes, they would give you weekly visits, but also like probably twice a month, all the mothers, they would invite you to go to the park. And because they know some of us, we're not going to drive there. Like, you know, when you're feeling depressed, you just want to stay home sometimes, right? They'll go as far as coming to your house, right? Picking you up. Whether it was a pizza party or whatever, but we had something going on. And then what's nice about it is we began to know each other's names. We began to support each other. And then when we started having the children, like delivering our children, then it's like our children became friends, you know. There would be times, it's like the program continued, like after pregnancy and, you know, you have the challenge stuff, but then you have weekly meetings, you know, where mommy and me, you know, meetings and stuff. And we'll have all of our babies on the mat in the center. And I feel I learned a lot of spirituality from that setting. You know, yoga was something they did a lot. I've experienced Reiki healing for the first time in that program. What I loved about it, they invited other cultures and that would show up, and whether it is, you know, they'd play their music or it's a certain kind of cultural activity or tradition or whatever in relation to, pregnant mothers or babies. Like, there's so much I learned from that experience, from the Hispanic culture and, from a lot of things. But one of the times that, I'll never forget her face. It's like yesterday. She was talking to me and she saw so much hurt in me. Now, this is a professional, right? And you know what's more impressive? She's not just a professional. She is the supervisor of the counselor she usually sends, but that day, that counselor was sick, so she showed up. So for her to break down and cry, that meant something. It meant something. This is how down somebody can get. You know what I'm saying? Where anybody else who's human is going to feel that energy. And she cried. She didn't cry because she was hurt. She didn't cry because she was, confused, or she cried for me. That was the supervisor, right? But one of her employees, a couple of weeks later, she cried too. And she's a very strong woman. I remember her name and everything. She's a very strong woman. That type of energy. But God, I said it. I said what you told me to say, which is you can be so sad that someone else in your energy will cry for you. But all this to say, here I am helping others heal, encouraging others, telling people not to give up. Life continues. And that's what they taught me. I don't know where I would be. I'm not saying I wouldn't have made it. I'm not saying I wouldn't find a way to go on. But because of the support I had in my life, confirmation. You know you got to give credit where credit is due. Because of the support I've had in my life, there was no way I could go wrong. I don't know how else to explain it. Because they cared. These women cared about me. My child was like 4 years old. We've been out of the program. You know what I'm saying? I think it's up to 2 years. But they still come into my house. Hey, we want to see him. You know what I'm saying? Let me take a picture with it. It's cute. And it's memorable. And I'm glad I have those pictures. But sometimes you have to find a safe place. Right? And there, you may be able to begin with your journey to healing. So this is something someone may want to consider. If you feel like you're on your own and you just depressed, right? Get help. As a matter of fact, there are people listening to me from all over the world, but so the best way I can share this is just research it. Go to Google and put in the search engine support for depression, right? Or call center for depression, or suicide hotline. You feel me? They have all of these. If it gets to be to the extent that you're even thinking about suicide, then that's something that you may want to do. Call the suicide hotline, which is 24 hours a day. And the reason why I made it through, and what I would teach those that I would assist in recuperating or rehabilitating from whatever episode they had of depression, anxiety, or, bipolar, what else they had? Schizophrenia, different things. I've dealt with a lot of people, personality disorders, the list is very extensive, but there is help out there. Something slipped my mind. I was going to say the thing that I used to teach them. It'll probably come back to me. But anyway, I did my best to share the knowledge I had with them. And I'm hesitating to say this, but since I'm being led to say this, my efforts were recognized. Something I have with me, and I'm going to have it forever, is when I did those support groups, people would be coming from all walks of life, right? What hit me one time is, yo, this lady's a social worker. You know what I'm saying? She is the one that is the one assisting others. What you doing here? You're in the helping career. But life happens, right? But I was there. I supported her. Shared about meetings and stuff. But I always... Okay, this is what I was trying to say. I always stressed to all of those that have either been in my classes or in my support groups that you need to build your support system. And one thing I've shared that a lot of people like to hear is sometimes you want someone to listen to you. So you could have that phone number on your contact list, right? There are apps out there. If you don't want to talk, you can chat. I'm feeling this kind of way, whatever. There are even apps out there that allow you to be the person that's counseling. Because one of the things you learn in those support groups is, there's a slogan, but I don't remember the slogan, but the message is, in order to keep it, like, you have to share it. Meaning, if you found recovery, you have to assist another person on the journey. If you just sit there and say, okay, I'm good. Oh, you depressed? Oh, too bad for you. You know what I'm saying? Chances are you will relapse, right? And this is one of the reasons I believe God put me in this type of setting, because yes, this is spirituality related. Oh, yes, I remember what I was trying to say. But what I was always stressing is I have to follow the guidelines. Okay, when you go to training, they say this is what you want to, this is what the meeting should be like. This is what you say. This is what you don't say. Like, you go to training. I've been to, other places, like, they've paid trips for me to get trained. They're very good, that organization. But I've always stressed with them that, yes, this is a great organization, y'all. I support it. I'm 100% supporting this, right? But I would not feel like my conscience would not be clear, because that was the season when I was getting more attracted to spirituality. Even though I had a background of programmed in the church and whatnot. But there was a season where spirituality was being introduced to me. Sometimes you go to like an anxiety group meeting or whatever, and that's the first place I ever heard the 4 agreements. That's a book. That's a spiritual book, right? So all this to say is, I would always share that, yes, it's good, this stuff about going to groups and talking to counselors and even taking medication. But guess what? You need spirituality. I said, this is not what they're telling me to tell you, but this is me clearing my conscience, okay? This is me telling you, you need something to believe in, and you need to make it your lifestyle, right? Don't depend on just medication. Find out confirmation. Find out about the supplements that you can take. Find out about holistic, therapies. Find out about Eastern medicine. Don't just say, okay, Western medicine, this is all I'm taking, whatever. If you really want to heal, you gonna knock on every door, okay? The only doors you don't knock on is the doors that your spirit is telling you, we're not going there. Like, there are doors like that, okay? This is not something I would ever even consider, right? Certain belief systems and stuff like that. Okay, that's a no-no. But other than that, if it's something you've never heard about, listen and learn about the concept. That does not mean you're going to apply it in your life. What you're trying to do is gain knowledge so you have options. And this is why anybody that I've ever assisted cannot, I'm going to go as far as say, cannot say that I didn't give my all. And the reason why they can't is because it takes one to know one, right? And so I'm not going to let you stay in that mood. I'm going to wake you up to the fact that there is life, that you need to smell the flowers again. Let me tell you something that was, I don't know why I'm sharing this, but that poor lady died. But one of the women that used to let's just say I'm trying to find the right term. She was more of a mentor to me, right? And sometimes she's like, did you spend any time outside? This is one of the reasons I go outside every day, people. You know, sometimes you judge people. You say they're weird. You say all of this, but you don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And as far as I'm concerned, it's got me far. Okay? Regardless of the jokes. Oh, she acts like an old lady. She feeds ducks at the park. She does this. She goes to the lake every day. She's weird. She's weird because she doesn't want to go to the club. She doesn't want to smoke. She just wants to go to the... But I'm healthy though. You know? I got control over my life. Right? My child is not traumatized. All right? And now you listening to me. Let that process. So maybe now you can say, oh, she has the key. And the key is not going to be found in a book, not going to be found in the drug. And when I say drug, I'm also stating prescription drugs, although I encourage it. But I'm saying it's not going to just come. The healing is going to be a melody of things. It's not going to be just one thing. It's not going to just be going to group meetings or having a psychiatrist, or it's going to take effort. But you know what? Even with all of those tools, right, that assist us in healing, the medicine is already inside of you. Right? One of the things God told me is Yes, you had to heal. Yes, there are more seasons of healing, right? But you need to go through them because you need to teach others how to heal. And this is the story of most healers. We go through hard knocks. And many are called and few are chosen. So if you have that spirit, that resilient spirit, right? No, I refuse to give up. You know that's what saved my life, right? What saved my life is my refusal to give up. No matter what happens to me, and I'm saying this with all of this energy because I'm so passionate about what I'm saying. I will never give up on me. And this is why, no matter what happens to me, if you find me in a circumstance where I appear that I'm going through a hard time, even in that hard time, I know it's temporary because I know me. And this is why some of my philosophies are different than those that are textbook. Because I'm the type of person that says, sit in your feeling. If you're sad, allow yourself to be sad. Okay, you want to be sad? We're going to spend the day being sad. But tomorrow, it's not going to happen. Like, you have to allow yourself to, how should I put this? You have to honor your feelings. They're there for a reason. In that sadness, there's a lesson. In that feeling ashamed, there's a lesson. You know what that lesson is? I'm not going to ever do that again. That's what it is. So I'm not the type of person that's going to be like, if you're feeling sad, then listen to happy music. And, just don't think about it. Have some ice cream. I'm going to tell you, feel your feelings, right? And soothe yourself. Maybe it might be a smoothie you want to drink or a bubble bath you want to take. But whatever it is, make it something healthy. But you can't go through life fighting the waves. Oh my God. I cannot believe I just said that. Because right after I said that, one of the cards on the spread is flow. So even though I didn't even know the talk that I was going to have with you was going to be this long, God knew. God knew, because it's even evident in the spread, what I'm stating. You have to learn to go with the flow. Learn to accept things. Learn to move on. You know, God has told me I have a light in me that will never die. So, in all seasons, guess what? I know it's a season. And because I've learned my lessons, right? Through acceptance. Through humility. Accepting the fact that someone can teach me something, regardless of my degree in psychology. Here I am listening to people that don't even have my degree. But I was in a season in my life where I had to sit my behind down. You don't understand what I'm trying to tell you? Sometimes you need to sit your behind down. Sometimes you're called to just listen. Life is funny. Because it was in my sitting down and saying, I'm going to surrender and I'm just going to listen and I'm going to go to meetings and I'm going to do these things. Anyways, I had to take a minute because I was interrupted. And now I lost my train of thought. But to continue, because everything happens for a reason. And wow, I'm receiving a message. In life, we get interruptions, right? We must learn to just pick up the pieces of whatever we thought we was going to put together, right? Regardless if we didn't have enough time to put it, regardless if it's not, as fancy as we wanted it to be, or we got to learn to just pick up the pieces and start again. And this is why we have to be alert. Because even in my delivery, I was interrupted. But God wanted to include that in life, there are interruptions. And you have to learn to be stable. Before I was able to emotionally regulate, right? Because I got schooled. You see the difference between me and you? I got schooled, right? And I'm willing to open my mouth wide and say, somebody taught me. I'm not all knowing. In fact, I still want to learn. I'm still gonna look for teachers. Right? See, as I'm saying this, I'm recalling what I was sharing earlier, which is there are times you have to sit down. And that's okay. And so as I was sharing, even with my degree, even with I used to be a counselor. Can y'all believe this? Here I am sitting getting counseled by other counselors. My peer counselors. So it's not just book knowledge. It's not just a degree. It's the fact that we're human beings. We feel, we have emotions. We have tragedies, we have crises. And I'm going to take this moment and speak my truth. One of the most hurtful things I'm going to compose myself. One of the most hurtful things that Judas did to me is not only mock me to my face, right? But share with the community that I'm crazy. It was a joke to him. All this effort I put in to build myself up, to the point I was sitting at a meeting one day, and at the end of the meeting, the person came to me, the head of the meeting, the facilitator, she came to me. This is, before I met the fool, right? She came to me and she said, "You're a leader. I see it in you." And I'm looking at her like, are you crazy? Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm the same person who made another lady cry about a month ago. Here you are coming to me, telling me I'm a leader. She said, "No, I have an eye for these things. In fact, God has a plan for you." And this was not a religious setting. Okay? You are meant to lead these meetings. I didn't apply for the job, people. You feel me? I didn't apply. I was selected. I was chosen. Others that have this position, they had to apply. But in my sharing, and she said, "Your transparency." That's a gift. Most people cannot deliver their truth. And I said, "I don't know. But I respect you." She was my elder. "I respect you." And even if you say you see a leader, if you say you see a leader in me, I'm willing to try. She recommended me, and I went to a training. Then another training, then another training. Then I began observing. You don't just jump into it. I began observing facilitators conduct the meetings. Until they said, "Are you ready now?" And I'm thinking to myself, me? And this is how life is funny. I'm thinking to myself, me? When I was a counselor. But due to hurt, life circumstances, and so forth, sometimes you forget who you are. My depression really came about when I lost my father. In fact, my son was born the same year. I have my godmother, she said, God knew you needed that comfort. He knew you was gonna lose your dad, so he gave you a son. But God is always looking out for me. Y'all don't understand. It's like his signature's everywhere. One of the signatures he left is I went in the hospital to have my son on my birthday. Okay? He was a gift. Yes, he decided to come the next day because he wanted his own day. But I went in the hospital on my birthday. So even in your darkest moments, you have to look for God. Look for God. Even in the darkest hours, He's somewhere. Look for the light. Look for the light. I feel encouraged. I feel somebody is going to get healed. Somebody is going to get healed and keep pushing. Somebody is going to relate to the fact that they were mocked. Due to ignorant people. Most of them in their addictions. You see, they're in their addictions because they don't want to feel their emotions. Right? But someone who's not on drugs, it's all in my face. I got to deal with it. I got to talk about it. I got to cry about it. And you would think a spouse would be supportive. Not laugh at you. Not go to the community and say, yeah, she's crazy. She's just a crazy girl. You know, I could do better than her. You know, I'm glad you did better than me. I'm trying to say that with a serious face. But I'm glad you did better than me. One of the funniest moments I had today was I shared a song a couple of days ago. One second. I had to recall the title of the song, right? And it's called Get Along Better. And it's the song I shared a couple days ago, basically about someone being in a relationship and they're looking for support, you know, from someone who's supposedly in their life, a partner, supposedly there, supposedly in love. But they didn't come with love. They became overwhelmed with the fact that you were too invested in them. They couldn't accept someone being invested. And it's toxic behavior. It's like being afraid to love, being afraid to live. All this to say, sometimes when God gives you a download, sometimes it takes a minute to fully process it and interpret it. Like you may interpret it today, and then tomorrow something else comes. And sometimes even a dream. You write it down in a book, your dream book or dream journal or whatever. And then it meant something to you when you had it, but due to something that just happened to your life, in your life right now, you see the other meaning, like in addition to what you had. And so I remembered when I shared about that song, and I said, I thought it was funny at the beginning. I said I thought that song was funny because she was talking about, well, not she, Drake was talking about, basically he gets along with his friend right now, with her friend. And it's not about revenge. It's just that he gets along better with her friend. But then at the beginning of the last episode, I was saying that, but that's not my collective, because my collective is not going to try to get into a relationship with a friend of somebody that they used to be with. Like, there's so many other people in the sea. So I want to give y'all the benefit of the doubt. I understand there are exceptions to every rule. But I'm trying, right? But there was a part in the song that was speaking of, I just get along better with your friend. And today it was revealed to me who the friend was. It was revealed to me who the friend was. Remember, it was a channeled song. It was revealed to me. I'm hesitating in saying this. This is why I'm I'm like taking my time here. I'm hesitating, and I'm also finding the right words here. But I said it was like an imaginary friend, and because I was just trying to interpret it to the best of my capability at the time. But today, like I said, it was revealed to me who the friend was, just by a conversation I had in the past. You see, the person that helped me to heal, I remember one time we was talking. He said, everything happens for a reason. Yeah, you went through some hard times and stuff. But can I be honest with you? I wouldn't have you. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't have you though. So I understand, like, I'm here, you can vent to me and all of this and stuff, but I ain't gonna hate on him. I couldn't believe he said that. I ain't gonna hate on him. So I'm like, oh, so that's his friend. Yeah. It might be a distant friend, but a friend, a grateful friend. So that's how life is funny. You just have to learn to make lemonade with the lemons you got. So this is what had helped me to heal too. Yes, I was lied on and stuff, and someone succeeded at breaking what they thought was a happy marriage, right? Looks can deceive. But if she didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I am. And the reason why I wouldn't be where I am is because he always belittled the fact that I was a speaker and, sharing my story. And it was only him that was putting me down. It wasn't my supervisor. It wasn't the community I lived in. It wasn't my friends. Because if it were so, I would not be called at universities in my community to come speak on depression. And the fact that you can go and speak on something and they call you back next year and the next year, obviously, you made a difference. So even in the fact that I had a moment in my life where it was a struggle, God lifted me up. I never thought in my life, I'm just going to be transparent with you. I knew God was going to make something of me. Right? I always knew that. But I said sometimes in life, you forget who you are due to certain things that just shake you up. Right? Confirmation. But I never knew. One day in my life, God would lift me up to the point where I would be speaking to classes I'm just amazed. PhD students, doctors. I never thought, especially in that moment of depression I had, I never thought God was going to use those experiences, right? And he was going to have somebody tell me, I see a leader in you and I need you to come lead these meetings. And from that, listen, I need you to teach these classes. As a matter of fact, it's because I was teaching these classes that the horse was a leg. I mean, the horse with the limp made my acquaintance. It was through those classes. Right? And from that, I went to more training, and here I am. I'm going to university level, speaking to doctoral students. And from that, God sends me to hospitals. I was at a different location every day. It's not that there wasn't a line to get that position. But I was willing to be authentic. That's my secret sauce. Those that want the recipe, right? I choose to be myself, right? I choose to honor what you see and my shadow self, because that's all of me. And until you can accept your shadow self, you will never be able to upgrade yourself, because you have to leave denial. It's when you leave denial, then you say, okay, I could work on this right now. And when you get this straightened out, you see the next on the list. You heal, right? And to me, it's not only about speaking. It's about the parents that come to me after the meetings and ask me, can I give you a hug? You give me hope. My child tried to commit suicide because she had depression. And here you are, speaking to me. Telling me that I don't have to lose hope just yet. There's no dollar amount that is as what I'm trying to say is, at that moment, when she said that, I felt rich. You see, people are different. Some people feel rich because they have material things. I feel rich because I promised myself that I would heal because I was healed. You see my son? I'd like to take the credit and say I named my son. But the story is, it was a counselor that gave me a verse in the Bible. And I could not think of a name for him. One of the names I was considering, I said, what about Chris? But his father said no, because I have a nephew named Chris. So we didn't go with that. But I'm like, what is, time is running. What am I going to name this boy? And then one day, I was looking through some papers and I saw the verse. And I just said, that's the name. Just like that. That's the name. A very powerful name. This is the imprint those in helping careers do for their peers. So even though I was laughed at, I was mocked, I was called crazy, look at me, baby. Look at me. I am thankful for my ups, my downs. I am thankful for the entire journey. You know why? Because God gave me grace on my journey. And yes, I was going to share a spread with you. But God is telling me I've left an imprint on you. And so I did my job. So with that, be well.